Fuck it.
What up, guys? Chris Fluck here. Frank Donley here. Chris Fluck Podcast.
Get him.
34. We're going over our plan here.
Hold it up.
We don't have a great run. We're giving a quick shout out to the mushroom coffee people. We got a French press going. Trying to get amped up here. Frank, you just got a little workout in. What were you hitting, man? A lot of pooling action.
I'm trying to even out you, man.
Yeah.
I'm big on that row game. I feel like long-term posture. Need those rows.
Yeah.
I want to be like strong when I'm 90, boy.
Sean.
2-to-1 pool,
2-to-1? Do you follow it? Joe?
Probably cumulatively over like a week.
So what you're saying?
Not necessarily every day I push. I don't do 2 rows, but I do more rowing than I do pushes.
Wait a second. 2 to row pushing to
2-to-1.
Pulling to pushing.
Pulling to pushing.
What about 2-to-1 horizontal to vertical pooling?
I haven't messed with it. Should I?
I don't do it at all.
You're saying horizontal to vertical?
Yeah, like two
horizontal rows compared to 2 vertical. So like a dumbbell row and a bent row to every 1 set of chin-ups?
Yeah, so
you're like off that completely.
Rows.
You don't horizontal row at all.
I don't do it really.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
If you think it'll make me better, I'll do it. You
I
want me to
don't
do
know.
it for 3 months and try?
Yeah, test
We'll
it
come
out.
back.
Give me 3.
This is what? Podcast 35. So give me
Whatever,
give me the
December.
podcast 55.
December 9, we'll revisit this.
December 9.
February.
Ooh, I don't know if you guys know, Chris just turned old, bro.
30.
Straight 34.
Same number as the episode, I think.
Yeah,
This is
that's sick.
It's a special one.
Yes.
All right.
I bought Chris a box of coffee today, and then I've been giving it to all my clients. So
Yeah,
there's
I
basically
came in.
no coffee
I was
left.
feeling pretty light. I had to
That's why
get
we're
a
drinking mushroom coffee.
fresh French press in here. Which brings me to something.
Coffee consumption?
Quality, I guess.
Of
But
coffee?
anyway, yeah, so what the hell what's the point of the filter? Do you know?
Just so it doesn't get dirty like cowboy coffee. Like if you would just dump coffee grounds in coffee, it's coffee. It's just so you're not drinking grounds, right?
I guess. I
what
don't
you
know.
mean?
No, I saw something once that scared me because I've just been using French press for a while, but it was like not having something there separating the water from the bean allows some sort of chemical, and I didn't understand it. I thought I was doing
Like a
something
chemical
good.
leaching action.
Something not good, something not positive.
Ooh.
So I thought the
Is that the
filter
same
might have a
chemical as
different.
the K-cups get into your stuff?
Oh man, dude,
Could be different chemicals.
I don't even want to think about that. Over the weekend, no, last Friday, Dark Waters, the movie. Did I tell you about this?
No, but
Mark
I'm
Ruffalo,
interested.
fucking Dupont, which is right near us. The Dupont's the same Dupont. So Mark Ruffalo must have an out for Dupont because he was in Foxcatcher where John Dupont killed the Olympic wrestler Dave Schultz.
Snuffed them out.
Snuffed him back in the day. Ruffalo's in this. All right, so Mark Ruffalo's a lawyer, a defense attorney. He would represent these big companies like DuPont and defend them in court if there was any kind of environmental wrongdoing.
Okay.
So he was on that side of the fence. His grandmother lives in West Virginia. I'm totally going to just ruin the movie. No, I won't ruin it. Whatever. It's fucking news. DuPont's down there in somewhere in Parkersburg, West Virginia. But
Is it near Morgantown?
I don't know. Somebody's from Parkersburg. I don't even know what. I didn't look into the geography of. It's probably. Let's just
I'll
say
look it
yeah,
up
sure.
when you
Yeah,
talk.
look that up. Anyway, Ruffalo's grandma lives down there. Farmers down there. He's got his cattle dying. 190 cattle dead. Like this guy's whole livelihood. He has 2 children. They're all just dropping dead. These cows, or they're going absolutely mad. And like in the movie, it's probably a drama, but like one of the mother bulls charges, and like they have to shoot it and kill it because it was attacking them. So anyway, Dark Waters, right? Mark Ruffalo's character was supposed to defend DuPont. Typically, historically, his company would defend these companies. This farmer comes to him and says, I need your help. Gives him this box of video. Ah, man. We got a little bit of a mix up there. Just keep rolling with it.
Yeah, so we got a robocall.
Yeah, we
knocked this off.
Basically, we just had a little technical difficulty. We're going back to Dark Waters. For the record, Parkersburg, not too close to Morgantown.
Nah, hour 55 minutes by car. You're talking about 13 hours if you're biking the thing.
How about a walk? Can you hike that? Can you get there in a day?
38 hours.
It's not bad.
Almost 2 days.
What's your pace? Should look
On
into
that? I should.
All right.
We need Jamie again, man.
I bet you could walk it in a day.
I walk fast.
You could walk that in a day.
I get
no
tired,
problem.
though. I'd probably
How
get
many miles?
ketogenically adapted first.
How many miles?
So I could run on fat if I was going to walk that far.
For sure.
I wouldn't want to be taking in exogenous carbohydrate.
All right. Dark Waters, Mark Ruffalo. So this guy comes, this farmer comes, he lost 190 cattle. His whole livelihood's destroyed. Dupont put a landfill in the next property over. So this guy's brother owned the property. I think he came on some hard times, sold his land to Dupont. Dupont puts a landfill in there.
Scummer.
So that's what's going on.
Big scummer.
Yeah, he sold out for sure. But he takes this video. The guy would start to like dissect his cattle. Their organs are getting huge. All this other stuff. They're dying. Their teeth are turning certain colors, deteriorating. Dupont knowingly was using this chemical that they created, PF, I don't know, it's like PFOA or something like that. But basically they created it in a lab. There's like fluoride involved, which has to do with the teeth turning a certain color. And carbon, C8 was tagged on the end, so it was like PFOA C8, something like that. Anyway, so the guy is like, you know what, I'm gonna do a favor to my grandmother. They grew up together, whatever. I'm gonna look into this. It's kind of where he lived for a small period of his life. He looks into it. He tells the guy at Dupont, who has a personal relationship with, like, hey, just kind of a formality thing. This is what we're gonna do. Yada yada yada. That relationship kind of turns sour. The Dupont guy's like, fine. You want information? Sends him like truckloads of boxes. Apparently, the lawyer goes through the boxes, like hundreds of boxes filled with documents, like one of those cardboard boxes that you like put. So he just starts diving through this stuff. I mean, it is a movie, so I don't know what's real and what's not.
Like Santa Claus going through the list, the naughty and nice.
Oh, yeah. He's circling. He's highlighting.
Yeah.
He keeps
He's
finding these
getting after it.
compounds. He's finding people that were employed by DuPont that were getting sick. They called it, like, the Teflon disease. Anyway, so they put this stuff in Teflon. So in the 70s, and 80s, Teflon is used. First off, Teflon was used in tanks. So, like, how could we get this strong, durable, whatever into every household for products? So then they put it on like frying pans, all this other stuff. People are getting sick. The people in the company were getting sick. They were having these just awful illnesses going on. DuPont's aware of it. A couple women were working those lines. They were pregnant. I mean, one guy's in the movie. His name's shout out to Bucky. I forget his last name. The guy was born with one nostril and his eyes were like off-centered. So this was a DuPont employee who had this baby while she was working there. 2 out of the 7 pregnancies during this time period had these defects. DuPont did nothing. They knew about it. They were taking the barrels. They couldn't get rid of it, so they were just dumping it in landfills. No, 55-gallon drums, putting them underground. But then that became an issue, and they had to like dig up these drums. And then they took it to this place in West Virginia, and I think they were just dumping them then. It got into the water source, and the cows were drinking that water, yada, yada, yada.
That's dirty.
The farmer in the movie, anyway, I don't know if it happened in real life, so they do this huge study. It was the longest, no, it was the biggest, what the hell's the name of a study that you would do? A continual study throughout the years. Anyway, basically the courts ruled in their favor, and they were like, DuPont is going to have to pay for the health benefits for anybody that like lived in this area long term. So they were like, we need all you guys to come out, get your blood work done. They call these forever chemicals. They're going to stay in your body forever. 99% of people have these chemicals in them, animals included. So
Everywhere, not just in this area.
I think in the world.
Okay.
It said human, so I'm just assuming in the whole world because of some of the products that are being used. So they end up getting 69,000 people to show up to give their blood. They found seven risk factors like testicular cancer to like ulcerative colitis and like blood pressure stuff, but 7 like terrible health risk factors, all because of this one forever chemical. And so DuPont legally at this moment in time had to pay out the lifetime, say like 20.
How did they still have money?
Because they just changed their mind and said, we're not going to pay you.
Oh, okay.
And then this lawyer said, we're going to sue you. So there was 2,200, maybe somewhere between 2,000 and 3,000 people currently had cancer. It might have been even like 3,500. So instead of DuPont saying, instead of paying all those people out front, they started suing them then because DuPont changed their mind. They reneged on the deal. So the first case, they might have won $1 million for the guy or female. Second case might have been like 2.8. Third case was like 7 million. And then eventually DuPont was like, you know what, we are going to settle. So they settled. It was like $270 million for these 2,500, 30, I don't know. Anyway, so they settled there, but they're still in court right now. Like these cases are still going on. 69,000 people showed up. They're like, there's only...
So it's only a settlement on one of those cases, so individual cases are going to be tried again.
Yeah,
like the
3
ones that
years
aren't
from
involved
now-
in that 2,500.
3 years from now, if somebody develops cancer, DuPont
How can
is
they
liable.
100% say That's just from Dupont or
It's
from them though.
I know it's a huge risk factor thing that they came up with, and it was like, because that was the deal. It's like all of these people that have been affected, I don't know, they just kind of agreed to it at one point, but then reneged on it. So I don't know where it's at now. But one way that they got these people out, super poor town. So the thing was, Dupont employed a bunch of people. So this farmer that spoke out, everybody in town kind of hated him because that was the biggest employer in the area. So DuPont's, they're giving these jobs to these people. So they're like, how the hell are we going to get all these people in West Virginia in this small town to show up and actually volunteer to get pricked with needles from people that they don't even know or trust?
Yeah.
Well, each person got $400. 69,000 people came out. Like one lady took her whole family in the movie anyway. There's 5 of them. Husband.
They get paid?
3 kids. Yeah, 2 Gs.
But
$400
I'm saying
a pop.
like they paid everybody then.
Everybody that went to give blood got $400. And they said, hey guys, come on down, we'll give you your check after you give blood. And they got everybody, like all these people to turn out. So it's kind of cool.
How many balanced checks?
I don't know, hopefully none. I think that's coming out of the Dupont checkbook. But so we just totally spoiled that movie probably for everybody. But it's real stories that you could just kind of catch in the news. I think the article was like the lawyer who brought down Dupont, or the lawyer who annoyed Dupont, I don't know. But New York Times did a piece. The dude's still fighting it. He dedicated his whole life to it, and it like pretty much destroyed his relationship
Is
with
he
his
Elvis?
family. Who?
The lawyer.
I don't know.
Or
I
is he
think
still kicking?
no, he's alive. But
That's the guy that's still working on the case?
yeah, like still now, like these court rulings were like 2014, 2016.
Okay, it's more
It took
recent than I
7
think.
years to go through all that.
For some
data.
reason I thought it was like
No, this is like literally now.
yeah.
But the stuff goes back, the Teflon stuff, 70s and 80s. But then DuPont continued to make this, this forever chemical, and they had to get rid of the waste somehow. So I think they buried these. The guy's looking at it, is like, why are they getting 55-gallon drums, and all this other shit. And then anyway,
I wonder how many are still buried.
that's a good question. I mean, they pretty much bought the
There's probably
land.
some like long-term kind of situation going on, even past this.
Oh, and it was bad too that like the fluoride would turn the kids in the town's teeth black. So I guess fluoride does a cleansing job, but then up to a certain point, it's like a poisoning thing. And like the guy drives to his grandmother's at first. Well, this is obviously cinematic probably, but it like clicks later where he sees the one little girl smile and her teeth were like dark. And then he's asking around, trying to get as much information. It was like, holy crap, they're poisoning everybody. Like that was how the movie portrayed
Yeah.
that he had like this moment
Epiphany.
of like, like, oh my God, they're poisoning people. Nobody's really doing anything about it. So anyway, this guy's life was probably like dedicated to it. Could have destroyed a lot of his relationships with his kids and all that. But it's like, in order to do, like he almost sacrificed any kind of relationship he had. And he risked his own career because his company was employed by DuPont, like in tons of cases. Like DuPont would call them up if they needed lawyers.
Yeah.
So for him to go against them was like huge. And
Huge, yeah.
other people in the
So he risked
agency
his
were pissed.
livelihood,
Yeah, but he
gave
had
away his family.
in the movie
But it's-
anyway. His boss was like, "Don't ever do this crap again, but we have to do something." Like
Yeah.
that was kind of his attitude, and he told everybody else to shut up. Like I'm kind of in charge of this place, and we're gonna go forward with it. And so I don't know. Good movie.
Did you used to have to take fluoride?
I don't know. I feel like it's in toothpaste, right?
I feel like at my school used to
In
make
the
me like
water.
eat like a fluoride pill once a year or something.
Do you know,
There's like
Jesse-
pink pills. Remember this?
Ah,
Did you ever have
maybe,
this?
maybe. I don't know what they were giving you.
They give me something else.
Yeah, the pink pill. Hey, yeah, it's fluoride. No, I don't know. I thought it was in the water,
I think fluoride's definitely in the water.
in like township water. But I thought don't they do that to clean your teeth? Are you talking about that pink stuff that they would? Remember at the dentist back in the day? I don't know if you still do
Oh,
that.
those are in
Is that fluoride?
in the molds, you mean?
Yeah.
That's fluoride too, I think. But you got to pay for that out of pocket. My insurance doesn't cover that. I definitely used to eat fluoride pills in school though.
You might have. But do you know Jesse the Body Ventura?
He's a huge pro-weed activist.
Is he really?
Yeah, right? Isn't
The
that
old
the
pro
guy that was
wrestler
the governor?
of Minnesota?
Governor of Minnesota?
Yeah, he was like.
Wife was like chronic
Vietnam.
pain.
Oh, really?
He saw how it affected her, and he's like a huge advocate.
I didn't know that. He's a huge
He's got like a whole committee, I
conspiracy
think.
theorist.
Really?
He thinks the government is putting fluoride in the water to keep us docile, so we don't.
That would be why they were feeding it to me as when I was a kid. It felt like an
Maybe.
ADHD kid running around.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, dose this kid up with fluoride.
Apparently,
Quick.
fluoride.
Stat!
Fluoride has a calming effect. Now we know, man. Government's out.
Didn't calm me down, bro. Still after it.
I got You were coming in hot though a little earlier today, so that's what I watched. You listen to. I watched some other stuff too that we got to get to, man.
You
You
know
go
what
first. Game changers. Your turn to talk. So
I've been watching a ton of podcasts. Well, I listen to 2 podcasts by Joe Rogan. They're both like 3.5 to 4 hours each.
But what's
and
the
then
X factor?
I've been watching YouTube.
What's the X factor, man? 1.5.
1.5.
The listening, the audio. You switched up.
Oh, yeah. So first of all, if you're going to listen to anything that's over, 1 hour?
Yeah.
You got to go 1.5 times speed.
Yeah.
You just crush these things, dude. It's still like a good speed where you can like
You hear it
understand what they're saying and
Yeah.
like comprehend. But like you just cut down on that time like crazy.
Literally.
It's awesome.
You can get through 3 hours in like a day. I mean, I'll drive. Obviously, the math is not going to add up. But like, if I'm driving like an hour and a half a day, like
2's too much
I'm
though.
banging
2
out.
times is too much.
Can't do it.
Yeah, I can't mess with that. Maybe I'm not a superior
limit.
intellect like yourself though.
Don't limit yourself.
So maybe I got to train. I should start training to do
You
that.
can train your ears to get better.
But either way, so I was, and then I started watching YouTube videos on this thing. So Game Changers is a documentary on Netflix, which I thought was vegan propaganda, and I still haven't watched. So for some reason, I'm consuming all this content about this documentary that I still have not watched. But I have decided today that I am going to watch it. But a lot of my clients are heated, and so the first organ I listened was Kresser, who's
Chris Kresser.
Chris Kresser, who's a chiropractor in California, which kind of he had me going, and I was like on his team, bringing up a lot of cons, I would say, with the vegan lifestyle, and I thought were issues. And then one of the 2 directors on the film came on Rogan and totally
Keep this rolling for you.
totally, yeah, you're fine. Totally smashed Kresser. Like he brought up, he didn't answer the question of why he demonized meat past the one ingredient, I guess, that is found in meat, and it's only found in meat that is not
like
grass-fed.
Harmine? Is that what it is?
That's not right.
He. What is it? Do you think?
Oh man, I don't know. Marshall just said
So
it.
wait,
too.
what is it?
It's
So
killing me.
there's one component on meat.
That's linked to cancer.
All right.
But but he demonized meat.
that's all he
and
kept bringing
that's
up?
the
Is
only
that what
thing.
you're saying?
His one thing that came up with it. But the problem with this whole podcast is Kresser came out initially and made claims that were pretty much untrue. Either that, or he just sat there and took it, because I think their personality types just weren't meshing too. Because the vegan film director was super like type A and like assertive.
Yeah.
So like he just made Kresser sound awful. Like he just dominated on everything. Like he was bringing up specific things to. One of the things was a B12, like all lot raised cattle and chickens are given B12 shots, and like this is a big source of how humans consume B12 and don't need these injections. So one of the big things that they say vegans have a deficiency in it is this B12. So he was saying that you just need to supplement with this B12, and that was the only substance or micronutrient they really talked about as from the film. But it was, I guess it's proven that it's true. And then he kind of really attacked Kresser from his standpoint of nutritional education, because in the state of California, they're like kind of like grandfathered in, or not grandfathered, like said to have like almost a master's level of nutrition if you're a chiropractor.
What?
And then yeah, dude, I don't know, man, it was just crazy. But like he couldn't take it. Like he was just getting crushed on the thing. So it made the film look really good and him look really awful. But they still never really answered the initial questions of like,
Well, I guess for
what's wrong with meat? What's wrong with meat if it's grass finished? He came across the point that it's like more people, like what's something crazy, like 95% of the world population isn't eating high quality meat is a big part of the film too, which was kind of crazy. I think a higher percentage would actually be eating that, but it's interesting, bro. It's just interesting.
And man, I forget what I was just gonna say about the.
He admitted Arnold still eats steak with his family, he eats eggs and stuff like that. So,
So the question. So Kresser doesn't represent.
Kresser, the whole second documentary is basically him defending his film. So he just made Kresser look like an idiot to devalue anything he said in the whole podcast.
Yeah.
Whereas that's not
That's a good
necessarily
tool.
true, you know? Because now everybody's looking at that podcast and be like, why would I even listen to this?
Well, that is a good.
Because he made him look like an idiot.
But that's a good tool.
For the director?
Yeah.
100%, yeah. Because he didn't
I
even
think
prove
that's how
the
Trump
point
got elected
against.
with all those nicknames and shit.
Yeah.
He was just killing people.
Yeah, dude.
He was just making everybody look like fools.
It's true though, and they couldn't take it.
No,
because he usually doesn't
they
have
win
a
those
political
debates.
stage, I think. So it's interesting though, because he didn't really dispute. He put it in perspective from an American, like whatever, a vegan diet was, if done correctly, which is rarely done correctly in my opinion, but if done correctly, is much more healthy than the standard American diet, which is also not the argument. Like, I want to know for like performance, strength, physique, all these things, like immunity, what is wrong with meat and consumption levels and stuff like that. So it didn't really dabble into that as much as just, devalue what this other dude said in his podcast.
And he didn't answer the questions like.
No, not. I don't think so.
You wanted to, like, but when you look up some stuff too, what's the whole point of the movie? What's their tagline? Is it optimal? Like the vegan diet is optimal for athletic performance and stuff like that, right?
I think the tagline of the movie is vegan diet is superior for everyone.
Everybody. And then
but it brings up those. I didn't watch it, but you said the thing about strength. What's that? It was like a certain percentage, like switching to the vegan diet. He increased.
I thought it was 19, but it was something in double digits. It was double digits.
Which is almost impossible, right?
Yeah, and they were like, he says the director, James Wilkes, went from 8 minutes on the battle ropes to an hour, which like what I was saying, the one dude was like, why would you do that?
Yeah, why, first of all, but also why quantify? Like at what intensity, at what?
Exactly, yeah, like, just like running.
Cool, you go real slow for an hour when you sprinted it for 8 minutes, Like, there's got to be more variables measured. It can't. But
and they never talked about James Cameron, right? The guy that's opening up the largest pea protein facility ever. Never mentioned with James Wilkes, right?
Negative.
You would think the guy that's funding and directing and whatever James Cameron was, like, don't you think he has some sort of agenda? To kick people into eating more pea protein?
I would think so.
Whatever it was. It's like the largest, I don't know if it's non-meat or non-dairy protein powder, He's going to have the largest facility. And other than him like just being a dick and kind of bullying the dude, but like I also don't get this whole thing where like I understand that they could look at bones and like the archaeologists could do whatever with like
gladiator thing?
The gladiator thing, but then also like to say like the one there's a lady on there that talks about our teeth, and it's like, look at our teeth. We've got the teeth of non-meat eaters.
Omnivore.
Yeah. But then Crash's whole thing was
but don't we have both?
We have heat. But so the thing was with meat was like we got to a point in our evolution that we figured out that we could use fire to heat up meat, and then we didn't need those big sharp teeth anymore. So and then because of that, and we were able to consume these meats, that the brain just totally grew and got larger because of eating meats. Like that was a part of his debunking of it. But anyway, just to say that like. Our Paleolithic, whatever, this is what they ate. I think it's just so stupid. I just don't get it.
It's not a logical train of thought, right?
No, and even like the diet now, like the paleo diet, it's like, really? This is what they ate in the Paleolithic era? It's like, get the hell out of here. And why is that good? Like, people were using...
It doesn't mean it's better. Just because it's the way it happened then. Look, think about how many things in life that aren't like that.
Like, if they would have had a way to cook up some steak, like, maybe that would have been better.
Yeah. 100%.
Maybe some different style of fruit or who knows what. Then they go on this other crap about the guy that.
How do you really feel? Going to this other crap.
Well, the guy that's out there, an ex-soldier who switched over to the diet, and he basically equated eating meat to being a poacher. Basically, he's out there like hunting, like elephant poachers, I believe, people that are going after the ivory.
Yeah.
And but they almost insinuated, like, the Game Changers documentary made it seem like...
They use all that meat in villages out there.
But I'm just saying, they made it seem like this guy's a vegetarian, he's out hunting these guys. He was, like, insinuating that, like, if you're a meat eater, you're, like, a poacher. Like, it was just the way that it was presented was, like, totally weird. So it was just a presentation of everything that was kind of crappy, I thought. It was like, these gladiators ate this food, we looked at their bone structure. It said they primarily ate vegetables, or predominantly had vegetables in their diet. Like, you could have that right now.
Even though I eat meat.
Yeah.
For sure. I eat a crap ton of vegetables, honestly.
And the other thing, too, that I was wondering about that I didn't listen to yet, but I watched a documentary, listened to a debunking, but I didn't hear this thing, was like, why, like, what's the solution then for food? Like, you're just everything's going to be farmed? Long-term sustainability, it's like, there was another guy on...
What do you mean, like nothing naturally occurring?
Like, what do? You just have a bunch of farms and grow vegetables, and that's what we're going to survive on? Is that the solution?
But they still would need to change the scheme of how they grow vegetables, right?
But it's like, what do you do with isn't it going to affect the animals too? Like, isn't the whole chain going to be affected somehow?
You're talking about possibly throwing a wrench in the whole ecosystem, bro.
I think it would.
I would assume so too. Yeah.
I don't know.
Or would it? Yeah, I don't know. Or would it switch over to more naturally grazing animals? But I guess no one's eating them. So what's that do with the whole food chain?
What does it do with the whole food chain? I don't know, man.
You know what I'm saying? If all humans stopped eating meat and started sustaining life, whatever, just on plant matter,
be a little bit softer around the edges.
Who would be?
Humans.
Not from this film's standpoint.
Right.
They'd be stronger.
Probably
more jacked.
19% stronger.
Well, they'd be
able to do the battle ropes for hours.
like no one's job.
Like, imagine everybody just hammering that for hours.
How hard is it to actually get just a macronutrient? I want to learn more.
All right.
Let's just put it this way, because we were talking about this earlier, like the bioavailability thing of plant-based protein versus meat-based protein. Like the bioavailability, they're absorbed completely the same then.
That's what
like
I
if I
want
eat 20 grams of plant-based protein and 20 grams of steak without the fat, just the protein source in general, is that absorbed the same?
Well, this guy's bringing up here, just some of the notes was like, they use a peanut butter and jelly or peanut butter sandwich, and then it's like, well, you have to get the amount of protein from that peanut butter, you're gonna have to increase your overall, like, people in general are already eating more calories than they need to.
The guy addressed that at the end too.
What did he say?
He said he basically broke down the macronutrients, and he's saying for the level of peanut butter in the sandwich and with the 5 grams per slice of bread, because most humans would eat it on 2 slices. I don't eat bread at all. I try,
no.
Unless it's like a cheat meal, I'm not eating bread in general. Is that part of my standard diet? I don't think. Have you found a healthy bread?
The only bread that I eat is the stuff we got for our little baby, because
I eat a bread on like a cheesesteak,
No, it's got. So
like, I don't eat
it's
healthy
made out of
bread to be
millet,
healthy.
like millet and something else, but somehow it's only 11 grams of carbs in a piece. So we smashed up some avocado, put that bad boy on the top. So I think that fat content kind of negates some of that.
Probably delicious too.
It is great.
You're talking about glycemic index and fat slowing the slowing the absorption of carbohydrate.
You get a little sea salt, sprinkle it on the top.
Oh, bro, the Himalayan, that good. That pink stuff, or you do that real salt? Did you try that yet?
I've done the Celtic, I've done the pink Himalayan, and
I've done the pink Himalayan.
The Celtic sea salt.
That's old seas, right?
I don't know, but from the Dead Sea Scrolls.
I don't know.
Jesus was using it.
It's like old. I think it's old deposits from an old sea.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not 100% sure on any of that stuff we just talked about, but going back to the point.
Neither was Game Changers.
Going back to the protein thing he brings up gets debunked.
All right.
And compared to the sources of food that Chris Kresser actually eats.
So DIAAS, never heard of it until watching this.
Say it one more time.
Kresser. Digestible, indispensable amino acid score. So it's basically scoring this.
And that's
stuff.
the new way to look at protein scores.
It rates protein using
because there used to be another one too, right?
The higher is better. Beef scores 1.1, egg is 1.13, peanut butter is 0.46. So in terms of this digestibility aspect,
you gotta listen to this new one, dude. I think this is all in it.
It probably is, but that's what we were talking about it too. When I look at, I'll get a protein powder, and I get this whatever it is. It's
Naked Warrior.
It's just not non-dairy, basically protein powder. So it has all of these pea proteins and bean proteins. I'm like, for one, I'm worried that.
Was it a peanut butter jelly sandwich and lentils too, or something?
Yeah, a couple, like 1/3 cups, like 3. So basically maybe
with
1
the
cup.
sandwich.
Yes, that's a large amount.
I would not eat that
every
on
day?
a consistent basis.
No.
Not to derail what you were saying, I'm sorry.
No, but that's.
But I was thinking, like, that's not sustainable.
Like, that's doing it the right way, right? Like, the vegetarian diet, whatever it is, the vegan diet, it only works if you do it right. That's what the director says, right?
Yeah.
James Wilkes, whatever.
That it's a better option if yes, exactly.
So maybe you have to.
Because all the things that were slanderous towards it, I think, are geared towards people that aren't specifically doing it the right way. Which is, I think, a high percentage. Like, I think it's harder to follow than you would think. It would be very hard for me to follow it.
But it's like total shit, some of the food, man.
Like?
It's like loaded with soy and canola and all this other crap.
You want to talk about my high LDL?
Go ahead. Yeah. What's her? No, we're not shouting her out.
Who am I shouting?
You know who. She was written on the board the other day.
Big E. No.
Yeah, talk about it, because I have the same thing.
Elena or something.
I'll tell you what they said about me then.
So I have.
He said her name then.
So I have high. I do blood work every year to save. I'm not going to name a company. To save money on my health insurance, which is pretty cool. I think it's like proactive healthcare, you know. So they do your blood work every year so they can see things before it becomes an issue. So you know, they do HDL, they do LDL, they do hemoglobin A1C, they do triglycerides. So I got a call saying that my LDL, bad cholesterol, are elevated. So they want me to go see a doctor. I don't really go to a doctor. I haven't been to a doctor probably in 10 years. So they had me thinking, you know, like, first of all, I'm going to go to a doctor just because I feel like I should have a family doctor in case, for whatever reason, I should have a family doctor. But LDL had being elevated, and then I started digging into this, right? Well, second of all, I'll get to the story that I was going to tell you, first of all. So they were sending me some information on it. You know, one of the things is a vegan seminar they said I could go to for free. One's a wellness coach, but they also sent me a email on the things I should change, you know? And some of the things just like, I was like, why is this on this list? So the one is that I should be eating more soy. Another one is that I should switch over my fats to canola oil, more vegetable oils, and things like this, and get away from olive oils and like main fat sources like tallow and stuff that I currently use. There's a third one too, but they're like things that I think are extremely unhealthy.
Highly processed, I think, right?
The canola is like the most processed, it's the most used in like restaurants and stuff because it's the cheapest. It's like trash, I think.
Yeah.
So I thought it was crazy coming from a medical professional that that's what I should be intaking more of. And the soy I thought was ridiculous, but it seems crazy. And then I started digging into this whole thing, and the LDL thing, they're like calling it bad cholesterol, but I think it's not even cholesterol. It's like a transporter in your body that kind of like transports, I would say, triglycerides around in your body, and there's actually two different kinds of this LDL. So there's like, let's say there's an A and a B. So the one is the healthy kind of LDL that's transporting triglycerides around your body, and then there's a second one that negatively is affected by glucose in the body, which those are the ones that are dangerous. So if those level of LDLs are elevated in your body, it's basically can create the hardening, arteriosclerosis, whatever, of the arteries and stuff, which we don't want. All right. So the LDL, there's a test called, I think it's called fractionizing, which you can. I'm gonna ask and see if I can get it. I doubt it's gonna even be covered, but I would like to know what percentage of my elevated LDL is this negative kind, and which kind is my detrimental kind. You know?
Yeah. What other suggestions?
But also this that they because that's what they said too. Like usually, the more I dug into this, the more that they had higher levels of LDL, like patients with that high level, like it's more of in conjunction with these other variables, right? So my hemoglobin A1C wasn't bad, so that has to do with my sugar. So they're saying in conjunction, if that number was really poor and my LDLs were really poor, then in conjunction with that, that's where the issue wouldn't lie, like be like a ticking time bomb type, like I should be really worried about it. But this is all stuff, then you wonder, like, if that's all from my just personal research, like they didn't say any of that, They just said I should go see a doctor based on the LDL, not with anything about the other markers, with other blood markers and that kind of stuff. So I'm still gonna like further research this, and I obviously am not an expert from any standpoint with that, but I just think it's interesting, like that there's such a separation between medical advice, general population medical advice, and like this like disconnect. Like how is there such a dramatic contrast of advice out there? It's kind of wild, right?
Yeah. I think, do you think that like the test that would tell you, basically I think we talked about this already. Well, not already, just last week when we first were discussing this stuff, was like the one book, the Good Calories, Bad Calories book talks about very low density LDL. And like you could bring your, you could lower your LDL level, but you could still have, you could bring down like the total number, but you could increase the percentage of very low density.
Which are the more dangerous ones?
Yeah, and you're at a higher risk for like heart disease or whatever. So it's like not even like that, bring that total number down. It's just like affecting the.
So you need to know at some point which kind they are, right?
I think so, yeah. And I think Rhonda Patrick has this dude on that talks about it, something Krause, I think, what is his name?
Krause dogs.
Yeah, I think it is. But she was like the first one that talked about it, and I just didn't really look into it. both to lower, so monounsaturated fats. Yeah, so I think it's almost like the opposite in the sense, whatever they told you to do, I think it almost potentially have the opposite effect and could like
Put me in a more
negatively
susceptible
affect it.
risk.
Yeah,
I think so too.
but this is just opinion. Well, it's not opinion because this book too, like there's studies everywhere. So basically, the large fluffy LDL implies a low risk of heart disease. The small dense LDL, which is like very low density, I guess.
Yeah.
Or V, whatever.
Or the troublemakers.
Yeah. So the smaller, the denser the LDL. It had to do with carbohydrates too. It says here, the lower the fat in the diet and the higher the carbohydrates, the smaller and denser the LDL. If you take 10% fat in your diet, 2 out of 3 are small, dense particles. 35% fat, 1 out of 3. If it's 46%, it's 1 out of 5. So it goes to 20% instead of, wait, did I just say that wrong? No, sorry. It goes from 66%. If you're only taking in 10% fat in your diet,
The higher
66% of them.
is going to be
Yeah,
the
but the low density, the very low
Very
density,
low- very
the
low
crappy
density,
ones.
yeah.
But if, yeah,
the dangerous little buggers.
I know. So,
But yeah,
they
so
wanted
that's
you
in
to-
support of what I've been researching since the fact. Right?
yeah, and see, this is even too. We're talking about like this cognitive dissonance. They'll devise numerous articulations and modifications of their theory in order to eliminate any apparent conflict. So they might only like give you evidence that supports their initial hypothesis because instead of challenging it and like rebooting everything, because then that could like throw out generations of work. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, there's
No,
people with,
totally.
like-
That's like the people like with the pyramids and
shit,
stuff. Yeah, totally.
It's like some guy dedicates 40 years of his life to
But I mean,
one
I-
theory, and then all of a sudden it's like,
But people trust like their lives to these people. You know?
I mean,
Like if that's the advice I'm getting and that's the wrong
know.
advice, it's pretty messed up, right? Especially at a young age, like if I would adhere to what they're saying and that makes me at a higher risk for coronary heart disease and diabetes and stroke and all this crap, like, and I do that for the next 40 years,
well, it's almost like the greater good type thing.
it's
Where
a
it's like,
mess.
you know, maybe for a few years we had it wrong, but oh well, we got it right now, but then it's like you forget about the millions of people that you just kind of screwed and like gave the wrong information to, right? I mean,
Yeah.
because everything changes over the years, and like, well,
But wouldn't you want the most prevalent, accurate information, even if it's them? But that's going to create that wedge in between
Like your
America
wife's,
and
your
and
wife's
the
a nurse,
thing.
right?
Yeah.
She works a lot, potentially, right? A lot of hours.
Yeah.
Like if she was a doctor, it's like with her schedule, like, would she even have time to really research and do some things to like, you know, it's like I feel like everybody's just kind of overworked, and don't want to give them an excuse or anything, but like doctors only have so much time in the day. They could probably barely get out to go to like a convention and
Yeah, and learn new information.
yeah, I think so anyway. I mean,
And then is one conference really going to be enough to sway them anyway? If this is what they've been preaching for 30
Yeah, no,
years,
it'll
40
probably
years.
take 5, 10
Like you're talking
years.
about like a 60-year-old doctor, like this, you know,
Yeah.
that's been prescribing statins and dealing with cardiovascular whatever for how long? Then they go to one and like they're just going to one ear out the other, right? Like it's like dogma. It's
just
like
go to the next room.
programmed, you know?
like go to the next room that like supports like what I was saying. Just go listen to people that support your thoughts
Yeah.
instead of trying to.
Actually think for yourself, question what the mainstream medical advice has been for generations.
I'm with you, man. God damn it.
It's crazy, right?
Well,
I didn't hear your personal thing too.
I don't remember what the numbers were, so I can't even tell you what was high and what wasn't. But like just some nurse that worked at the front desk that probably never met me was just like, yeah, your cholesterol number's a little bit high.
Total?
You know, I think so. I guess this was a couple years ago, so I don't even remember. But she was like recommended working out a few times a week, and I was like, all right, thanks. Like she had no
Were you
idea who
currently
I
working
was.
out? Pretty.
Yeah. Like, but she had no idea who she was even like really talking to. It was just like, oh, this guy, yeah, we'll call him and tell him. So I didn't actually get a call from the doctor or the nurse that I worked with that was like,
On your
that front
case,
desk
yeah.
person that just like looked at it, cholesterol's high, let's give him the general guidelines, you know, 30 minutes of physical activity a few nights a week or something. And I was like, all right.
But how does that affect you if you're already doing that? Like that's all,
Yeah, it doesn't.
you know?
It doesn't. It wasn't like a personalized call at all. I just didn't even pursue it because I was like,
I wonder what they would have said if you had actually told them your situation.
she would have had to probably get somebody else on the phone, I guess. I would guess anyway. I don't think she was going to be able to figure
Because
it
you
out.
obviously are meeting those guidelines.
I was. They lied to me. They deceived me. My cholesterol's high.
So is your cholesterol still high? Have you
I
got
don't know. I got to
since?
go in. I got blood work done this year for life insurance and all that stuff.
Yeah,
So
stack it.
instead of no, that was high there too because I wasn't in the top tier. I was one tier below. I don't know how many tiers there are. Let's say there's 5 tiers of like where you would fit in. I wasn't at the.
Does that affect
top
your
tier.
insurance?
Yeah, a little bit. It might have made a monthly payment, an extra like $7 in one, and then an extra like 11 in the other. So meeting with the guy, telling him everything and health history and all that, he's like, "You're probably in this level," but then after the blood work and all that stuff, it knocked me down one spot.
Knocked you down a peg. You better
It cost
deserve
me
that.
money, man. They're taking.
But isn't that even more messed up then? It's costing you money,
Oh,
but
yeah,
it might
that's
not even be
true.
an issue.
That's true.
That's another place this is implicated.
I didn't even think about that. Should fight that or not?
Dude, we should get it. We should get it.
Take-
Maybe we should
it's right
dig
down
in.
the road.
Should we dig in?
We could go down the
we
street.
We can root ourselves into the situation.
But to be quite honest,
grimy.
I went to log in and check out what the numbers were, and the login didn't work, and I didn't pursue it past that. And I was like, all right, whatever, we're good.
It's awesome, right?
No, it's not. Saw a picture, man, this weekend. What else are you up to, man? You getting some of this? Some bow action?
Yeah, I bought a bow. I want to start hunting my own animals. I'm gonna kill deer. I want to eat that deer.
Really?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I got to get really good at shooting it first, but
So what's you got a plan?
I shot. So I was learning
How
yesterday
many
for the
shots
first
you
time.
got in your lifetime total?
So far,
15, 20, 40?
I mean, I used to shoot like a normal bow when I was a kid at
Like-
my like dad's like old school bow. So I bought a like compound bow. So these were my first ever shots with that sucker, and I only shot about 15 times because there's like these points that you have to line up every time. What do they call them? Trigger points, contact points. So you're like your knuckle's supposed to be under your ear, and then your tip of your nose is supposed to be in line with the string.
Yeah.
And I bought this bow, but I need to get it adjusted because I'm long, bro. So I need to get another like inch or two on that sucker to get it back in the right spot.
That,
So I don't want to like ingrain bad motor patterns before I get this sucker
No, you
lined up.
can't.
But it was fun, dude. It was a good time.
you can't do that.
I broke an arrow.
How does that happen?
I was shooting at this dude's property. That's like a rocky property, and I missed one of the shots. Missed the target.
Well, how much does an arrow cost?
$10.
It's pocket change for you.
Yeah, I'll borrow it from you.
Yeah. So we're talking bow
$10
hunting.
is a
We're
lot,
talking
bro.
about practice, man. What do you think,
skills.
man? What
Let's
do
talk
you
about
think?
skill development.
Yeah, let's get into this. We're talking.
Is this on here? Because
Little
that'd be
sports
awesome.
team. No, but I just had a little side note. I already had this up here. 10,000 hours. I want to get in a little bit, but then you started talking bow hunting. I'm like,
Can we full
we're
circle
talking about
back real quick and then
practice,
come
man.
here?
Wait, which
100
one?
hours. What about your boy?
10,000.
10,000. I know. That's what I'm saying.
an average.
What about your boy though?
Who? Danny McLaughlin?
The dude debunking your boy Cresser.
Wait, what do you mean? We're circling back.
What's his claim? 1,000 hours before the Game Changers film of
Oh,
research, and then 3,000 since then.
So he's only at 4,000.
That's not even
But
that much, really.
Here's the deal.
I guess if 10K's where it lands.
No, 10K is only a guideline. Some people could get there. Some people could achieve a level of mastery in 6 hours. Others
6 hours?
in 23,000. Sorry, 6,000.
I was gonna say,
4,000. So there's some
Talking
chess
about
players.
Prodigy maybe or
So in
something.
this study, it was like some chess players here. Let me see if I got this in my notes.
Yeah, pull that out.
Here we go. One chess player in the study
that out
reached
here.
master
Let's get
level
this in the mask.
in just 3,000 hours of practice, while another 23,000. If 1 year generally equates to 1,000 hours of deliberate practice, then that's a difference of 2 decades of practice to reach the same plane of expertise. Now,
It's a lot.
they were also talking about this in chess, where it's like, if somebody, so let's just say they were calling chunks, right? Each like sequence of moves could be chunked into like one train of thought, almost like one little pattern. So it's like if 2 practitioners start with slightly different initial conditions, it can lead to dramatically different initial outcomes. So if you have the ability to learn a chunk in 9 seconds, I have the ability to learn a chunk in 11 seconds.
Makes sense.
It does, but then, yes, over time, for you, it's 45,000 minutes, 55,000 minutes.
Yeah, it adds
and
up.
if you keep extrapolating this, you're going to learn it all in 31 days. I would learn it in 38 days, but in order for me to get caught up, I'd have to practice 24/7 for a full week. So it's 750 hours compared to 917 hours, all because of starting conditions were a little bit
Yeah.
different. So that shit's
Just
pretty
'cause I'm
cool.
like
And the point, just because you're almost like a prodigy,
Supernatural, dude.
you're like a bow hunting
Supernatural, boy.
prodigy. But then Danny McLaughlin, I didn't even tell you this story.
I can't wait.
So this guy Dan McLaughlin
Basically,
reads this.
Can we call him Danny?
My boy,
Just for the podcast.
my boy Pearl, shout out to Robbie.
Robbie Baker?
No, Robbie Wynn. He used to talk about. He was aware of this
Wynn
guy
Casino.
because he was trying to do it. Age 30, this guy Danny McLaughlin quits his job. He never really played golf. Barely knew how to hold a club. He had this thought where it's like, do you need talent, or was it all about hard work? People say it's all about hard work, right?
I think it's both.
He's about to test it. You're right. It is both. That's it.
Some people, it doesn't matter how hard they work, you know?
So this guy, he quits everything.
What about the kid down here trying to gain muscle mass?
We'll talk about
125 pounds.
We'll talk about it. This
Junior
guy
in high
decided.
school.
Well, that's why I think the starting, like we just talked about, that the starting conditions are important.
Yeah.
So this guy, Danny McLaughlin, quits everything. He practiced for 18 months, played his first round. He would, at peak time, so his whole thing was deliberate practice, because that's what it said. It's not just hanging out, doing whatever. Like deliberate practice, meaning working on specific skills, yada, yada, yada. So at his peak, he would practice for 4 hours and play 1 round a day. 6,000 hours, 6,003 hours in, his body starts to break down. His back no longer complied with his rigorous training program.
Yeah. Believe that.
Then he basically quit, man. And then they start talking about this.
Quitter.
I don't know if he quit. He just decided, I'm not going to be a pro. Well, I guess he did quit. Quitter. McLaughlin quits.
Danny. Man, you know what? From growing up with Danny, I'm a little...
Him and Johnny Hopkins he used to hang with.
A little angry.
Yeah.
I think he's better than that.
So what do you think of that, though? You said it's about both. It's about... This book's just software and hardware is what it's all about. It's about what you were born with and then what you kind of download, the software. So your hardware is who you are. The software is what you
Hardware,
take in.
would that be like genetic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's your ability.
Why are so many people offended by the fact that hardware can't be everything? Do you feel like there's those people that are like...
Talk to a guy here once. You know who I'm talking about.
The national champ?
No.
Was he a national champ?
No. But anyways, like he didn't like that. He didn't like the feel of this book because it doesn't devalue hard work, but it lets you know that hard work is just because you work hard doesn't mean you're going to be a pro.
Oh yeah, no, not even close.
No.
You could be the hardest worker in the room and you'd never make it.
Yeah.
In all aspects of life, I guess.
But I guess
some people just don't got it.
Yeah,
don't have it.
Yeah.
Like I don't have proper.
But you still want to work hard, right? So we're not saying you don't work hard.
No,
that's not what the book
but
says.
I think you need both. It's gotta
You
be a
can't have
healthy
one without
combination.
the other. You can't become Wayne Gretzky if you don't want to practice. Like if you don't have the passion for the sport.
No.
Like apparently he would be out shooting on his own because that's what he wanted to do.
We're gonna talk about Kobe Bryant shooting before and after games.
Kobe, Tiger Woods, you ever hear of him?
Starting at 3, just slugging that ball.
Hammering.
Not slugging.
Slugging the ball.
Gracefully swinging and making beautiful contact with that ball, bro.
So where are you at then in your bow hunting? Do you think you got the natural born?
I think I'm
you got the natural
genetically
born
gifted, but I
skills.
mean, my hours of mastery are just not there yet, you know?
So what do you think it's going to take for you? If the average man takes 10,000, you're about what, 800?
6.
You need about 600 hours?
600, probably 600.
You're that much better than the normal human. That makes sense.
I would say like from a genetic capacity, if I put in the hours of, say, like Cameron Hayes put in, I think I could get there.
Don't you got some of that Comanche blood running through you, though?
I got a
Some
lot of
Native
blood running through me,
Native
bro. Big
American?
volume of blood from a lot of different ethnicities.
I mean,
Just hand it down.
It's in your blood. Bow hunting's in your blood. There's no denying it.
I hope I stick with it just so I can come back to this conversation in 5 years too and be like, dude, you don't even know how good I am. I'm doing 3D hunts, just like straight winning contests, slugging deer. I'll get strong from eating this deer too.
Did you ever see those races where they try to fatigue you, I guess? I just heard about it where...
Before you shoot?
Like endurance events that involve hunting. Like that one Olympic event.
Oh, yeah.
Cross-country
So what, they like
skiing and
run
then
and then
shoot,
shoot,
target
and then
shooting.
shoot.
But I think they do it
haven't,
with
but I
bow
follow some of that
hunting.
with like real war tactical stuff where they do extremely high bouts of like intense exercise and then have to shoot and then followed like the same way.
I think it's
like
that,
not.
yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, super.
But they're
cool.
doing hand-to-gun shooting, right? They're
think
putting in
both.
stress. They're stressing the body and then
Both.
stressing their mind, kind of thing.
Both.
That's awesome.
How about that boxing chat? Too.
I got 2.
Lennox Lewis. You want to talk about
Boxing?
cafe real quick? Yeah, Lennox Lewis,
Oh, no.
boxing and chess. Talking about going
Dude,
in
we
a
got a lot of stuff to talk about.
Talking about
down the road.
throwing hands and then just like getting on there and get that brain power, boy.
So with this book too, and I don't even know if I'm going to find these notes quickly enough. So I'm going to try to talk about it.
Is this sports team still?
Yeah, but it's about being a high responder. So we talked to somebody today.
Okay, yeah,
You know,
yeah, this is good.
There's a
This
kid,
is
he's a
good.
junior in high school, 130
Woo!
pounds.
Gave it to me.
130 pound junior. I was 130 in 8th grade. No, I was heavier than that. in
You're the
8th grade.
talent, though. You're genetically yoked.
Right.
Big Papa Glenn.
Absolutely. Genetically young.
Talking about thick.
Glenn?
I'm going to talk about
Anyway,
muscle bellies,
I was just
explosiveness.
going to say something. But no,
You
so
should've
anyway,
said it.
they see this other kid that works out up here with Frank. The kid's got freaking strong as an ox. He's a smaller guy in terms of like height and weight, but he just got freaking jacked. Like, was he a sophomore in high school?
When he started or now?
Now.
Freshman, dude.
Oh, he's a freshman, so 2 years of training?
Yeah.
Like, we're talking, what, 400-pound deadlift?
Yeah.
225?
Bench easy.
And he works out, what, twice a week?
3 right now, but
3, but 2 to 3 times a week. But anyway, this kid responded very well to training.
But he never really
So-
capped his stuff. Like, we just kept it basic and kept growing, you know?
I
Like,
was
some
just-
kids would cap earlier, for sure.
Oh, like peak, you mean? Like,
Well, yeah, you might have to throw something else at him, but he just, like, keeps eating it up. But it's also the passion for it, right? Because he likes it so much.
Yeah.
Like,
When you stop-
there's no saying this 130-pound kid, junior in high school, comes in here and even likes lifting at all. Like, lifting's hard. This kid, like, kind of weirdly likes pain. He, like, loves lifting. I don't know.
Well, it's also the same kid that, what does he do? Takes his shirt off and goes out in frigid temperatures to get acclimated to the
Yeah,
cold?
he's just a mentally tough kid. Because I talk about meditation. He's like, oh, man, you know, the only way I meditate, I try to push the limits of cold shock therapy, boy. So he starts out there 5 minutes, frigid cold. He works up to an hour slowly.
Yeah, nobody's talking about cold shock proteins
Yeah, they
at that
should.
age.
Except him.
And commies.
Yeah.
He doesn't like commies either.
Yeah,
but
he does not like
but
commies.
anyway, what I was just trying to say, the starting position, the starting skill, like we just talked about with chess and your bow hunting ability.
Yeah, there's so many variables. That's why it's like,
matters. So like his hardware, he was able to get super strong, super quick. Same with the other guy that's coming in at 3. Beast. You could, Logan.
you got, oh, yeah.
But like you could put other 9th or 10th graders on
On
the
that
same
same
program,
program, they wouldn't
and
do
it's
as
just
well.
not going to do as well. So yeah, I was trying to like explain
But
that.
what are they? So you think they are just programmed to respond well?
You know how
But
you
it
get
could be
pissed-
that kind of training too.
You know how you get pissed
like they
off
specifically
'cause
respond to
people are
that training,
stronger than
whereas
you?
if someone else would have another program they're on, do you think they would respond that well to any program? Or you think it's specific like variability within like programming too?
Well, it's like doing
Like
the
I
right stuff.
respond differently to someone else, or you respond differently to someone else. You know.
Right. But yeah, I think
So
you're
is it
doing
like
the
the
right
perfect
stuff.
storm?
You're doing the right stuff with them, I think, right? I mean,
I think so.
they're hammering all the big bang lifts, and they're getting really strong at them, and that's that. So, if they were on a body or on a machine-based training program or Planet Fitness style,
I doubt it would happen, dude.
no, they'd still be strong, I guess, but just not. Yeah. So, that's just all the variables that go into it, right?
Yeah.
It's who they are. It's how much they love it, and it's kind of who their coach is and who's guiding them.
The man.
Frank Donley training. So
FDT,
there's that part of
baby,
it.
Anti-Frail.
And what the hell else were we going to go with?
Man.
You were talking about books. I got 2 things to talk about yet. You're
Books.
talking about Lennox Lewis. I want to
Talking
talk
about
about
lifting.
Andy Ruiz Jr.
Talking about lifting.
and Anthony Joshua. Your boy Ruiz Jr.
You talking about keto versus barbecue?
Yes.
With the rematch, right?
Yeah, the rematch. The first fight, I watched it before I watched the second fight.
I just saw the pictures.
Yeah, I got DAZN, stupid ass name for this app. So they get all these huge fights. They're calling themselves DAZN. DAZN. I thought it was
Like
DAZN.
in the zone.
Yeah, I
The
thought so.
zone.
The app is DAZN.
Not a lot of names taken
So
by
it's
this
like,
history, too.
I'm like, oh, they just go by DAZN. I'm like, there's an MMA promotion called like Ryzen, like RZN
Yeah.
or RIZN or something. I'm like, oh, maybe they're just DAZN.
Right.
They got Bellator, which is like UFC's top competitor. So they air all these fights live. They aired freaking Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz Jr. live. It's $100 for the full year. If you order a pay-per-view, you order Mayweather's fight. It's 75.
75.
75, bro.
560 in
So
my
anyway,
day.
$100.
Can't afford that stuff.
I'm
I
like,
don't
you
got
know
deep
what?
pockets like you, bro.
I'm like, so anyway, I order it, man. Ruiz Jr., 6 foot tall. What do you think he weighed in at? I think I told you. Well, take a
Reese,
guess.
255.
283.
This is my boy.
Your
that I
boy,
root for.
283.
Okay, 283. Right.
He's the second heaviest champion ever. The other guy, Valuev, was like 7'6", 340 pounds. So Ruiz at 6 foot is the second heaviest heavyweight champion of all time. James Buster Douglas gained 15 pounds in between his fight with Tyson and I think Holyfield. Ruiz Jr. put on 16. Ruiz Jr.'s coach wanted him to show up in July to train. Guess what month he showed up?
June.
September. 2 months
So he
after
didn't
the
come in
fight.
early. He's not a hard worker, huh?
Anthony, you think discipline might be a factor?
Maybe.
16 pounds heavier. He basically cut out 2 weeks, 2 months.
How much of that 16 you think is jacked steel?
0.
Like muscle.
He doesn't lift weights. Listen to his interview. They ain't no lifting, man. He's got no.
So he's just.
So
but,
since the
but
age of
he's
6.
hardware. His hands are just fast, right?
That's what it was. So first fight, apparently there's some circumstances
Especially if he doesn't
that
train at all.
they didn't let Joshua.
He's
Apparently,
a heavyweight with that kind of mentality, though. Isn't that crazy?
he
He has to work a little bit.
Who, Ruiz Jr.? Yeah, he works. He does work. I think he's a hard-working man. He's got fast hands. And he was like, he only had 1 loss going into that fight. And it was like a majority or minority decision, maybe. Like it was there was like a draw, and then the judge voted for the other guy for 1 round, and that's how he lost his one. Like it was like a super close decision. I don't know that for a fact, but I only saw the I only saw the result online. But anyway, Ruiz
So the
Jr.
second
started at
fight-
the age of 6. All right, first fight, here's what happened. Joshua apparently had a
Get him.
knockout. He got knocked out in camp. That's
Yeah.
the word on the street. That's a rumor.
Okay.
He didn't say that, but that's the rumor. He didn't feel that he was back yet.
Is that legal?
In the dressing room,
To not disclose that to the public?
Manny
People were talking
Pacquiao
about
people
betting
on-
millions of dollars?
Pacquiao and Floyd,
That
they had that
hiding that
issue.
shoulder injury?
Yeah. But
You might have just screwed this guy.
that's Joe Hogan said that. But anyway, he
Again.
so he goes out there. Joshua rushes in. Third round, boom, drops Ruiz Jr. Ruiz Jr. gets up. Joshua rushes in, and as he's rushing in, trying to finish him, Ruiz pops him. I'm thinking we're talking left hook, uppercut type situation.
Ooh,
Drops
that's a nasty.
Joshua.
Tyson loved
Joshua barely gets up. Saved by the bell. Round ends. Not right. I mean, he didn't really walk to the ref. The announcers are like, I guess they want you to put your gloves up to defend yourself and then take a few steps towards the ref. He put his gloves up but then didn't take the few steps, and the ref was just like, ding, 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 like the round ended. Then 3 rounds later, Ruiz drops him, I think 2 times, I don't know. Joshua can't get up. Over. This fight,
Just so
because
people
Ruiz has
understand
the
how-
faster hands,
Yeah.
Joshua has the better feet, though. And he's 6'6".
Dancing
Joshua's
and reach.
6'6", 250. He came in 11
Yeah.
pounds. He came in, I think, 9 pounds lighter or 11 pounds lighter.
Than last
Ruiz-
fight?
Yeah, and then Ruiz Jr. came in 16
11.
pounds heavier. But anyway, Joshua was just freaking
How would you
pop, pop,
describe
pop.
his body type, Ruiz?
Soft. Flabby? Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. And then how would you describe the other guy's body type?
6'6", 250, ripped,
Jacked.
jacked.
Yoked.
He started boxing at age 18. He was like on a fast track. He didn't even have like an amateur career that they typically have in England. So like he was winning an Olympic gold like 3 years into ever being a boxer or something crazy like that.
That is wild, dude.
And Ruiz Jr., he fought since age 6. So even with that body type, like that's probably his body type his whole life.
Yeah.
You know? Like he was probably always like the shorter of the two.
How much
the
variability do
chubbier
you
of the
think
two.
in that is by changing more self-discipline, eating and training and stuff? Like, do you think he would never look like the other dude, though?
Never.
Like, he's just not capable of that, right?
No. No. No chance. Joshua's a specimen. He's like a...
I like that. Really specimen.
He's a beast, dude.
Specimen.
He's freaking ripped, man.
Yeah.
Oh crap, what was I just gonna go with there?
Man.
Oh,
Fighters
another
aren't
thing with
usually like
Ruiz
that
Jr.
too, right?
that I think is a benefit, and I got this in that sports team book where people in combat sports like wrestling, boxing, they're talking about the body type, and I don't know if it's Ruiz Jr. has his trunks low, that it looks like his torso is longer than what it should be, but if your legs are short and your upper body's a little longer relative to your legs, your center of gravity is lower, and in those
Power.
combat sports, it helps with like taking hits.
Hits.
yeah.
I thought it was going to be delivering blows.
I guess it might be too, but it was more about just center of gravity being down and being able to have better balance and stuff like that because of it.
That is
Interesting. I
interesting
don't know.
to think about.
But when you look at Ruiz Jr., his pant is like his butt cracks hanging out almost. His pants are sagging. He was the heavyweight champ. I don't know. It's
Can we call him the
crazy,
greatest
man.
of all time?
Not yet. He's got to come back. If he gets a rematch,
Are they
dude,
they're going to get the best out of 3.
They're gonna run it back?
What if he comes in, though, like just cocked metal steel, kills him?
then he's the better man. But here's what's going to happen. He's got to fight the winner, Wilder Fury.
Yeah.
Remember that one fought to a
You
draw?
know, the fighting's getting cooler.
That's why I got the freaking app.
Yeah.
And I want to watch Wilder Fury, but it's on at like midnight, and I'm in bed for 3 hours by then. But
You
they
can watch
always
the
talk
next
about,
day,
remember
right?
The Undertaker?
It's only live?
When The Undertaker sat up?
Yeah, I remember
Did you
that.
see that clip of Fury after Wilder dropped him in like the 11th?
No, I'd like to, though.
It was a long count. Like, he was down for 10, but basically, Fury's like,
Looks like he's coming out
I
of
don't
a
mean to
coffin.
laugh, but he looked like he was dead, like done. Wilder drops him. It might have been in the 12th, the last round. I don't know when it was, late in the fight, and then freaking Fury sits up like the Undertaker, and then somehow gets up, and he ends up winning like the next round. Like, I don't know, it was nuts. I didn't get to watch that whole fight, but I want to see that.
Pretty awesome, though.
Whew. I don't know, man. What else you got? You got the boxing. I was going to talk about this little book when we're talking bow hunting. When I said you got a little Comanche blood running through you. Empire of the Summer Moon. The Native Americans,
Badass people.
they weren't, people think they're like a loving, like we feel bad. Obviously, the
I
white
think
man
it depends
took
on
their
the
land.
tribe.
This book, Empire of the Summer Moon.
It's about
these
the Apaches, though, boy.
No, the Comanches.
Oh, Comanches.
They were
Apaches were warlike, too, right?
maybe.
Does
but
it talk about the
and
Iroquois
Sioux?
and the longhouses, fishing, living with families? Or
No.
is this all warring tribes?
It talks about the people that went soft and went to the reservations, like the Seminoles.
Well, I thought they were hard.
Now they were one of the first that took
Get
it from-
out. The
I'm
Seminoles?
I'm not getting out. It's true.
I wouldn't have guessed that, man.
Dude, there's so many names. The Shawnee, the Delawares.
They're just dropping names in there left and
A lot
right.
of names. Apache, Iroquois. Then there's different levels of the Comanche. There's different bands. So these Comanches were signing treaties. I got 4 major leaders here. They're signing a treaty, but there's 2 other bands out there on the loose killing people. They have no clue what those other 4 are doing because they were out on the plains, which was a region from Mexico, like up to South Dakota. Like they're not
Believe it.
communicating with each other.
Nah.
They all fall under the Comanche head, but they're not. Oh, they signed a
Different
treaty. Who
leadership,
cares?
right?
I'm gonna go raid, scalp, and murder everybody
Yeah,
in
for
this
sure.
town.
Pillage.
Anyway, Empire of the Summer Moon. Good book.
I
Check
should
it
read
out.
that. Sounds like
The
something I should
greatest-
read.
The greatest bow hunters
I wonder if they got that on audio.
on horseback. They do.
Audiobook.
That's what Joe Rogan is listening to it on audio. And I had the book on this app that I got scribed. SCRIBD, $45 a year. It's got massive amounts.
Really reaching
Massive
for these,
amounts of books.
Reaching for these
Sponsors.
sponsors now, bro.
But anyway,
How many
check it
apps
out,
you
bro.
got?
Well, the ones that
Truck full.
the ones for entertainment,
Yeah.
scribed.
Well, you're
Kindle,
learning, though. You're learning out of those, bro. Those are
everything.
Well,
Netflix, you ever hear that?
podcast. That's probably a business
Podcast.
expense now that you do podcasts. Right?
Sure, anything could be, I guess.
You're trying to educate yourself, get some material.
Would you tell me once? Consume content to create? Consume to create?
Consume, create. Well, if
Just
you don't
like that.
consume anything, you never know, right?
What else do I got? I got the UFC Fight Pass. Today I was just watching Kevin Lee drop Gregory Gillespie, nasty knockout. I don't even know why
That's
I
the
watch
kick?
this. Yeah, and I'm like, why do they keep showing this stuff over and over? It's like, see it live? Fine. But then they show the replay and this dude's face like, getting smoked. Gillespie, though,
Pretty cool, though.
shout out to him.
Why do you like this, like,
National champ.
barbaric, primitive fighting stuff, man? Like, how do you...
You're going to be the
You know
guy
what's hilarious? though?
dragging
Like,
deer
you
out of
just
the
said-
woods.
You just said that, and I look in my head, I was like, that's awesome. I want to see that video. Is that messed up?
But I can't see
Like,
it.
I wanna
don't want to
see.
see it again. He went
Yeah,
stiff
but
as a
you
board.
want to see it at least once.
Did you ever see, you saw
Don't
Ben
you want to see it?
Askren?
It's like a train wreck.
You see Masvidal knee Ben Askren in his head?
Is that when he claps his head?
Yeah, in 5
I
seconds.
did see that. That was
When
crazy.
Askren went running in, Masvidal flying knee. Dude, he was like stiff as a board.
Yeah.
And Masvidal's trying to hammer his face a couple more
Well,
times.
he's got to until they blow the whistle. You know? Not whistle, but you know what I mean?
Now the refs got to get
till-
in there
Go
for
till
sure.
the whistle blows.
The refs got to get in there.
Yeah, you just program that way. Because what if that wasn't the end of the fight?
No, I know. I agree. He
Yeah,
had
like-
to.
like, it's
So
up to the
just
ref,
the refs' job to get in there.
Yeah.
No doubt
Gotta
about
get in
it.
there, get greasy.
What else you got, man? You watching football?
I didn't watch this weekend.
I haven't watched nothing in weeks.
I heard Wisconsin almost beat Ohio State.
I just got a text that said
You haven't watched anything in
OSU
weeks?
in
What
trouble.
about Emmy? She loves football.
No, it's been weeks.
Trying to wean her off.
No, she just. Oh, we took her to a hockey game.
Yeah?
She said, "Ball."
Oh, you went to the game,
ball.
fans?
Yeah, we went.
She liked it?
Yeah, she was all about it. She was like leaning forward, watching.
Season tickets
she
coming
liked
up
the
for you.
Zambonis.
I bet that.
She was into the Zambonis.
Did you get a Chuck-a-Puck?
What?
I bought Chuck-a-Pucks. It's like for like some Easton
No, man.
charity thing. You like Roto-Rooter has like toilets that come out after the game, and you got like Chuck Pucks. None of us got it.
No clue. Didn't even know.
It'd be fun.
We left
It was
early.
fun. We did.
It was late. It was too late. We got some food at the Allentown Indoor Market.
Well, how was that?
Falafel.
Probably healthier than the
steak.
stuff they got at the thing, huh?
Steak, yeah, I think so. Some sort of steak salad, Mediterranean, Lebanese type food.
You're nice.
Salad.
I like that. Lebanese food, dude. I could go for some. I'm hungry, man.
Go get some, man.
Yeah, I got
Head into Allentown.
I should keep this. Ooh, A-Town.
What do you got?
Big
Anything,
A
man?
Tizzle.
Came in hot for. An hour plus. We had that technical difficulty
Did we really go that long?
since hour 5.
That's pretty good, man. Did we
Peace.
accomplish enough?
I think so.
We came, we saw, we conquered.
Changing the game. Peace.